This week I want to tell you a little story about something that happened to me recently. I had flown to a meeting in Kansas City and was taken by the hotel shuttle to the place where the meeting was to occur. This was a meeting of the Board of Pensions of the Presbyterian Church, and so lots of Presbyterians had ridden on this shuttle in the last day or so before I was there. But it happened that I was the only one on the shuttle as I was going to the hotel. So the young man, who was very gregarious, as they often are when they drive those shuttles, was making conversation with me, and I said, "Oh yes, I'm one of those Presbyterians that I'm sure you've been taking to the hotel very often lately." And he said to me, "Well, what makes Presbyterians different from other denominations?" Now, if you had been in that shuttle and he had asked you that question, what would you have said? Perhaps you would have answered the question the way I used to answer the question sometimes for confirmation classes, to help them understand how they would know if they had walked into a Presbyterian church when they were in a sanctuary. I always told them that they were to look for 3 things when they walked into a church sanctuary, and if they saw them, then they might be in a Presbyterian church or a Reformed church. And what I told them to look for was a table prominently displayed, the communion table, a baptismal font that was always visible to them, and a pulpit. And often on the pulpit there would be an open Bible, because for Presbyterians the open Bible, pulpit, baptismal font, and communion table are at the heart of who we are as a denomination. Now, I asked some other Presbyterian pastors today what they would have said if that young man had asked them this question. One of them said that she would have said something about the sovereignty of God, that she would have said to him, it's very important to Presbyterians that God is in charge, and that we understand that in everything we do, from the way we manage our church government to our understanding of the sacraments. Someone else said that what they always thought about Presbyterianism is that you don't have to check your brain at the door, that you are encouraged to think and to reason and to consider and to debate with other people what it means to have this faith in Jesus Christ. Someone else said that they thought what was at the heart of being a Presbyterian was very related to what this last person said. That is, that we encourage a variety of viewpoints within our understanding of our relationship with God through Jesus Christ. Someone else said that it is at the heart of being a Presbyterian to say that your vocation is your calling. Even when that vocation is outside of the church, we understand that we are given gifts and called to use those gifts wherever we find ourselves. And related to that was that there is no separation between the sacred and the profane. That is, that we understand that God is at work throughout the world, not only when we gather in a beautiful sanctuary like this one. Well, here's how I answered the young man. After having flown on 2 airplanes and taken a half a Dramamine, I was taken a little off guard when he asked me the question. But the first thing that popped into my head was that we ordain lay people. That really sets us apart from almost every other Christian denomination. That there are lay people, those who are not ministers of word and sacrament, who take the exact same ordination vows that are taken by those who are called to be ministers of word and sacrament. To me, that is one of our distinguishing characteristics. Well, I want to encourage you to use a resource that is also from our Board of Pensions, provided by them. It's called Presbyterian Leadership Reflections on Leadership Renewal in the Presbyterian Church. It helps remind us about the importance of this idea of parity, that is, the same kind of leadership among the lay leaders and the ministers of word and sacrament in our denomination. The writers of this booklet are Linda Valentine, who is the Executive Director of the General Assembly Council, and Clifton Kirkpatrick, who served for many years as the stated clerk of the General Assembly. They identify 5 things about leadership in the Presbyterian Church that are important and that are related to this idea of the ordination of lay people. The first thing they identify is shared leadership. We never make decisions in the Presbyterian Church without having both elders and ministers involved in those decisions, whether it's in a local church or the presbytery or any place beyond that. Because we understand that we all need to bring our gifts to that decision making. And then the second thing they say is that leadership that counts is about transformation. We say in the Presbyterian Church that we are part of the church reformed, always being reformed, according to the glory of God. Now, some people will say that just a little bit differently, but it's a reminder to us that we are always being changed, always being open to change, to respond to God's call to us in our lives together. The third thing they say is that the basis for our leadership is a holistic vision. And they really concentrate on the fact that we need to have a vision as a church. We shouldn't just be doing things the same way we've always done them because that's the way we've always done them. The world changes, and the way we respond to God in that world and encourage others to respond as well needs to change. The fourth thing is the source and model of our leadership is Jesus Christ. We always remind ourselves that Jesus Christ is the head of the church. No congregation belongs to its pastoral leadership, or to its session, or to its congregation. Instead, the leader of every congregation is Jesus Christ, and we strive to follow what he would have us do. The fifth thing they say about leadership is effective leadership honors diversity and reaches out to the world. We are not called only to take care of ourselves or to only minister with those who are like us, but to reach out to all of those who are God's children in the world and to share with them the good news of Jesus Christ in our lives and in their lives and in changing the world. So I would encourage you at your next session meeting or when you're in Bible study or even as you're just sitting at vacation sometime this summer and thinking about things. If you had been on that shuttle with that young man in Kansas City and he had said to you, "What makes the Presbyterian Church different from all other denominations?" what would have been your answer to him?